Attention on deck. You're about to take command. Welcome to the bunker.
Welcome, everybody, back to the bunker. I am your very, very tired host, Andy Burrows, but I'm also the host of a football team that is one game away from the Super Bowl. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the bunker. The Washington Commanders 45, the Detroit Lions 31. I am joined by my illustrious co-host. First down the bottom there, for those of you watching on the YouTubes, Scousey, you look as tired as me, brother. But what a time to be a Commanders fan. How are you, my friend?
Yeah, man. Totally drained, but yeah, man, definitely worth it. And yeah,
We get to do it all again.
biggest get to do it all again next week. And yeah, man, keep it going for a couple more weeks after that as well.
I
So
know. I'm liking the hat
man.
again. I'm liking the headwear again. Everyone watching YouTube, Scousey's rocking it. And up in the top left, as you can see, is my illustrious co-host, good friend, and just as elated as we all are, I'm sure. My voice is already going. I've only been recording for 2 minutes. Mr. Jesse Martin, how are you, brother?
It couldn't be better. I mean, I think all of our voices are a little bit,
This could be the croakiest episode we've ever done.
from yelling and being up late. I mean, I didn't go to bed till like I don't even remember seeing the clock, but I just kept looking at different things on X, all the post game interviews, and man, what a time to be a Washington fan right now. It's been so long. We've just had nothing but shit year after year after year, and we just go into the Lions den and took out the number one team in the league.
Yeah, 33 years since we've been in this situation to go into the NFC Championship game next weekend. Boys, before we get, as I always say, before we get into it, let's just scouse. I mean, just how do you even begin to sum up last night? Like we've been saying now since when we got to like 8 or 9 wins during the season, we're thinking, oh, hang on a minute, this is good. And then we got to 10 wins and we're all going, maybe, and then we made the playoffs. And then we're like, okay, right, we're in now. Let's go to Tampa, and hey, look, we go out against Tampa, hell of a season, guys. We're rebuilding quite, and then we deservedly beat Tampa, and you're thinking, Jesus, okay. Then you think, oh, okay, now this is going to go up a notch. We're going literally like Jesse says, we're going into the Lions' den. We just go into the Lions' den. We went into the Lions' den, bent them over, and done them places where they shouldn't be done. Dominant performance from the Commanders. Yet we gave up 31 points, but no one on this planet, apart from us lot, probably saw us winning, let alone putting 45 points on the number one seed. That was their best season in 12 years. They were saying on commentary last night for their win-loss ratio. Scouse, how do you even begin to sum up where you are right now, brother? Because I'm trying to think of the words. It's just elation, happiness, drained, physically, mentally drained, but still know that I've got a whole week's now to prepare. But probably, well, no, it's gonna be the biggest game of football that us guys have definitely watched in our fandom. People have been tweeting me all day saying, Andy, I was there in 91, the 80s, and honestly, I'd never take that away from people. But what we're witnessing right now, what we witnessed last night, and what we've got coming next weekend, which we'll get to into in a little bit, we haven't experienced anything like this. It's hard to find the words other than say what every other Commanders fan is saying. Happy, jubilant, can't express it. Scouse, just try and sum up the past 12, 13 hours, because you're probably like Jesse. The sun was rising when I went to bed. I slept for a few hours. I woke up and I watched the entire game again, and I'm probably going to go and watch it again after this, mate. Scousey, sum it up for me, bro.
Can you sum up quite easily? I don't think you can, but I mean, it's so refreshing, so nice to actually be talking about us in a positive light. We've had so much shit over the last 20 years, 30 years, and bad ownership, and the fans have deserved it, man. People who stuck by this team we
Big
deserve it
time,
right
yeah.
now. I know we deserve to beat a team that we wasn't expected to beat. You know, I've got vibes of Giants 2011 with us. I really
Hmm.
do. I mean, they came in, sneaked in the sixth seed. They went like 5, 6 games winning streak before getting into the playoffs, and then went all the way and beat an undefeated team in the final when everyone thought like they had no chance. And that because they had that brotherhood. Do you know what I mean? They had that kind
Hmm.
of like they all clicked together at the right time, and we're the same. We I've got that feel about it, and it's just an amazing feeling to actually think like say we are literally 60 minutes away from the biggest game in 35, 30 odd years, 33 years. I mean, it's just insane. And, you know, uh, I was not expecting us to win that game last night. I wasn't expecting it. So, very, very surprised and so happy about it.
Jesse, out of the three of us, who said we'd win this game?
Well, I sure as hell didn't.
Who said we'd win this game?
You didn't say it either.
Jesse, what did I say with the Lions, guys?
Oh,
Yeah,
Thank
tongue
you
in
very
cheek.
much.
Let's
I
be
said we
real.
would win this game.
Let's be real. No one in the right mind really
I said we'd win this game.
said, "All right, you know what?
Said
We're
we'd
the
win.
better team."
Gal said we'd
Okay,
win.
because in
I said we
reality, we're not the better team.
We are
But
the better team.
I think the collection of the talent that Adam Peters brought in, he brought the right people in, not maybe the most talented people in, but the right people in. And then when you have a quarterback named Jaden Daniels, who I'm going to go ahead and say it, he's going to be the best quarterback in the league. He's going to overtake Pat Mahomes. What he's done as a rookie, he's 100% the best quarterback in the NFC right now.
He stays on this trajectory, yeah.
Next year and the year after, I can see him supplant as the elite of the elite quarterbacks in the NFL.
Yeah, no, I agree. Boys, let's try and break down the game as best we can. Jesse, what were you thinking when we kicked the opening kickoff out of bounds?
This is going to be a long fucking night.
I was thinking, oh shit, it's like 1 o'clock in the morning. We've just booted the ball out of bounds.
Yeah.
Obviously, we started. I mean, if you look at the first drive, that we got the ball. Obviously, the Lions come out, didn't do nothing with their first drive. We come out, and then we go for it on 4th and 1, Jesse, right at the start of the game, when we don't make it.
Mm-hmm.
What were you guys thinking then? Because that opening drive for me was good. It's just we messed up a little bit on the 4th down. That was more through execution than play calling, because the play call was right. It's just we couldn't execute it. And
I love the play call.
Yeah,
the play call was great. But my thoughts in that moment, cut Brian Robinson, because he ran right into freaking Mariota. So he must have not gotten a memo of what that play was actually going to be. But it's like, man, we can't. We have a good drive, and because we had we got the ball first going down there.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm sorry. They got the ball.
They got the ball and went 3 and out. Yeah, they went 3 and out.
We stopped them, which was a big surprise. And we get going, and we're like, all right, well, we can have them chase our points instead of us chasing their points. And then that happens. You're like, God, dag nabbit. And then they go back and score. But I mean, it was just it was a little bit frustrating in the beginning. The kick, and then that 4th and 1, it was definitely frustrating in the beginning of the game.
Yeah, but then Scouse, then we did answer back. Even though we got a field goal, we could have scored straight away. The Diami Brown had a drop that probably would have ended up with him scoring a touchdown. Then you're thinking, oh Jesus, okay, it's gonna be a difficult game. But then all of a sudden the game just goes absolutely bonkers. What did you got? I was screaming at my at the TV. Jared Goff got stripped of the ball, and we go down the field and eventually end up with B-Rob running it in, and we go 10-7 up. I mean, what were you guys thinking again from the command? That whole bit of the play, from him getting stripped of the ball to us then scoring, to him then them going down the field and having one of the best one-hand catches I've fucking seen in the league. And then 20 seconds later, you blink and, we're in again. It was just backwards and forwards all the way through the first half. I think so many people were tweeting out.
Was amazing.
Everyone was saying it's probably the best second quarter of football they've ever witnessed. boys, that just shows how far though we've come as a team, that we weren't just hanging with the Lions. We were on top, I would say. And we were looking more like every time we got the ball, we just looked like doing something, didn't we, Scouse? I mean, Jaden Daniels didn't get sacked once in that game. That speaks. We didn't turn the ball over. If you can do that in any game of football, regular season, playoff, Super Bowl, whatever you're doing, you're going to stand a great chance of winning. Obviously, we went down the field. There was our first big play call, boys. What did you make of this? When we went for it on 4th and 3, hit Zach Ertz again. I think this whole I don't think we're going to. We might not need a punter next season.
Tress can retire.
Yeah, Tress can retire.
Yeah.
Just maybe we can use another roster spot. Just we'd let anyone do it because I don't think we're going to need to pump. But boys,
I don't think we need a kicker. I tell you that.
what did you boys make of the second half of football? I for the first time ever, I don't usually make notes when I'm watching when we record these shows. I just do it off my head and remember the games. Blah blah blah. There was so much that had to happen. I had to just get out my phone while I was rewatching the game. I mean, what did that? Let's talk about that one-handed catch by the Lions to go 14-10 up. Jesse, I mean, Scouse, wow.
I think it was it John Allen that had Jared Goff around the legs, and Goff was,
and he still made
falling down. I mean, it was just it was an all-around good play by both teams. I mean, if you're really looking at it, I mean, Allen had the pressure, but then Goff had the athletic ability to get the ball out, and then Sam Laporta with that catch was definitely a high. When I saw that, you're like, damn, I can't even be mad at that because we didn't do nothing wrong. That was just perfect play
wow
right there.
Yeah. Scouts, were you of the same? I mean, I was just
I totally agree. Yeah,
I was just like that. I was like, that's why you love the game.
And sometimes you got to hold your hand up and say, hey, on that play you were better than us, and even though we were at the high level in that play as well, and just that, the better man won on that play at that point, and Laporta beat our guy. Who was it? He beat? Was it Sanders-Drill?
Sanders-Drill, yeah. And bearing in mind what a game he ended up having.
But he had a fantastic game. I mean, superb, and so you had to play crazy football to be able to beat our DBs, and then that's what Goff pulled out on that play.
Yeah, I mean, if you fast forward a little bit then to our next score, Jesse, I mean, we're not going to get into that Terry elite argument. He's definitely fucking, for me, he's even cemented it even more now. I was more impressed with the screenplay. We'll call it RPO play that Terry took to the house. I think they highlighted it after the touchdown, and I noticed it while I was watching as well, even with my tired eyes. You could see straight away that was 3-on-2. But that just before they run that play, we called a time, we stopped it, and we were like, "Whoa, let's reassess this," and then we ran it. Is that testament to where, like you said at the start of the show, he's not a rookie for him to? And I think Tom Brady. I watched it back on DAZN, so I had the Tom Brady commentary. Obviously, I know it's different from Sky Sports over here. We're Tony Romo, but Brady made the thing. He said for him to notice it that quick from when the ball was snapped, that was 3-on-2. Terry got the protection, and he was away to the races. Yeah. Is that testament to where Jaden is, that even in them kind of situations, I mean, the whole game, he just looked like it was like the first regular season game. It was he just looked as cool as a cucumber the whole game. But that, for me, that play there to put a 17-14 up, for him to notice that straight away out of his hands, noticed it was 3-on-2, bam. And next thing you know, as soon as Terry's got open field in front of him, there's only ever going to be one winner. Jesse, what did you make of that?
Yeah, I mean, I said it last night. Jaden is an assassin. He sees everything, and he feels he knows the game so well, especially for a first-year player. And yeah, he saw that and just made the right play. We hats off to Cliff too. I mean, what he's done and how he's worked with Jaden and to make it. I mean, this is one of the top offenses in the entire league. And Terry finally put on some burners and outran somebody. First time in a long time he's done that, because he always gets it too. He always gets caught.
Yeah, they speeded him up and they said it was 20-mile-an-hour he run. I mean, that's pretty damn fast.
No, hats off. I mean, it was a great play, great for Jaden to see it, and Terry so quick to duck under, because he kind of ducked under the defender to be able to get on the outside, and was it Kirby Joseph? He's no slouch. Those two, Brian Branch and Joseph. Joseph had 9 interceptions this year. You know, and I was a little bit worried about that coming to this game. He's a damn good safety. But for him to be able to duck under the defender and run up to the sideline and dive into the end zone, I mean, it's fucking awesome. It's amazing.
That's what elite does, isn't it, Scouse?
Exactly. Elite, it says what it says on the tin. Do you know what I mean? Like that's
elite,
what it is.
That's what elite does, and it tells you, you know,
In the biggest games, in games where you got to come up
the
close.
elite step up in the big
Up.
games. The elite stepped up yesterday in the big games. Boys, so that put the Commanders 17-14 up. And then the Quan Martin pick to the house pretty much straight away, not long after the Lions got the ball. I mean, what a play that was. I mean, I think it's the first pick 6 of the season. If I'm second, sorry. Second.
Dante Feller had
Don,
one.
that's it. My bad.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, again, then you're kind of thinking, I'm in dreamland. When you're getting pick 6s on the road.
That was a shot to the gut.
Yeah, because they were driving. They looked like they were moving, they were doing okay. And you're thinking, all right, if we can keep them to a field goal, and all of a sudden you blink and we're 24-14 up, and deservedly so, in my opinion. Scouse, what did you make of when the Quan Martin pick? I mean, tremendous pick, really, amazing eyes down the field from him. I thought it was incredible. A lot of people on social media this morning. I've been having a bit of banter with the Royal Alliance guys. Big shout out to them. We'll get to you boys in a bit. Don't worry about Anthony. Where's your little speech today? Your little I want to run for a brick wall. Didn't really work, did it, buddy? Only joking. But yeah, a lot of people blaming Jared Goff for that. Was it just a good play by Quan Martin, Scouse?
No, I do think it was on Goff. It was he wailed to his receiver, and Quan was just standing there waiting for it to land.
Didn't really have much zip on the ball, did it?
No, he sailed on him. He tried to, obviously he had one defender in front. He tried to get over him and then into the guy in the intermediate area, but he overthrew him and went to Quan Martin behind him. So that shows like it was just a poor throw. Obviously, don't forget that Goff was under pressure most of the time. You know, our D line, did give him some fits at times, really did, and it was a poor throw, and then Quan was great vision to get all the way back to actually the end zone itself. And I love that hit from Louisville on Goff as well.
Oh, smashed him, didn't he? Sent him into next week.
Laid him out, and I loved it. And then they're all crying about it. And I'm like, well, why? He's technically a runner at that point. He's a defender going up against technically a running back, because that's what Quan is. He's flying down the outside there.
Yeah, he's trying to stop him scoring.
What do you? Trying to stop him from getting in. Yeah. So why can't he be hit like that? Yeah. So just because he's a quarterback, no. You ran towards the ball. You now eligible as a defender. So no, I was happy with that with that no call.
That obviously put us 24-14 up. Just before we get into the rest of the game, Jesse, the discipline that we showed, the penalties, we spoke about for God knows how many years now on this show and various shows that we've done. The discipline that the Commanders showed yesterday, I think, needs speaking about briefly before we carry on with the rest of the game. There wasn't too many times you're shouting at your telly because so-and-so's cost us a play, or we've gone for a big run and then you see the flag and it's being pulled back. Is that something that you think the Commanders would have focused on in the week leading up to the Lions game, knowing that penalties have cost us a little, not loads during the regular season? There's been moments where you think, if we could just not do that. You know what I mean? I know you're going to get penalties in the NFL. I know that. But the stupid ones, and I'm knocking on wood again, first time this episode, in the Tampa and today, we seem to have not completely knocked them out of our game, but we've really nullified it, and we've really learnt lessons, if that's what I'm trying to say.
What do we have? 3 penalties today, 5 last week, and 2 of the penalties that were called on us today weren't fucking penalties at all. I mean, the face mask that was called, that would definitely replay wasn't even close to being a face mask. I mean, you said earlier, Burrows, penalties actually have cost us a game. If you go back to the first Philly game, I mean, we kept shooting ourselves in the foot. I think we got 11 penalties. I mean, I think if we clean that up, we could have won that game. Same goes for the Pittsburgh game. I mean, we lost by 1 point on that game, and that was due to some penalties. I think 3 weeks ago, I mean, we're averaging we had like 43 penalties in 3 games, something like that.
Is that something that you can? Is that something, Jesse, that you think the coaches can put on the players in practice in the week?
Sure.
Is that something they can say to them like, look, we're going to put you in this scenario on the practice field, because you can't really. I don't know how you practice for penalties, if that makes sense.
Well,
To, to an
a
ex-
lot of the penalties that we were having were pre and post snap.
Yeah, a lot of them were like false
and
starts
those
and,
things, especially the pre snap penalties, the false starts or
Yeah.
the illegal motions or the illegal man downfield, stuff like that. Those were the penalties that were we were shooting ourselves in the foot at.
Yeah, no, I mean, I just wanted to bring one, and before we get dipped back into the game, Scouse, the defense have got to take some amazing protecting Jaden the way they did. Wow. Offensive line, sorry, to protect Jaden the way they did, to not get sacked. If I'd said to you when we were doing this time last week, we'd sat down and said, Scouse, Jaden's not getting sacked once, you'd have been like, have you started drinking again? Are you back on the Jaeger bombs? I mean,
Especially when you lose Cosme as well. You think,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's something that we're going to get into. I mean, the full credit to the D line, Scouse. I mean, from going from Tampa last week to this week, to go into a game like Detroit and Jaden not get touched once. Wow, brother.
Oh yeah, it was a great offensive line performance. They actually were making holds for B-Rob as well, and Eckler. So that was the biggest problem we were having going into the game. We were worried about the running game. I was worried about it, and the O-line wasn't really not up to par. Let's face it. And then they showed out. They showed out this week. And there's nothing I can't knock them for anything really. I mean, Trent Scott came in, held his own really well. I think also as well, you got to tip your hat to Jaden as well, because yes, it's there's obviously protection, and then obviously there's decision making as well, and his decision making is very good, and it's kind of like he's that fast that he can just get out the way of when they do actually beat our tackle or our guard, he's already gone. Like he's already seen that, and he's already gone off towards the no out of bounds somewhere. So again, those things help with the stats as well of not.
And he
being...
didn't have to rush as much himself, did he, this week? But
No.
ball intensive purposes, what he's done against Tampa, what he's done against Atlanta.
There was a few big ones he needed, but besides that, there was he was pretty, pretty average, as in for what he normally would do or would have to do with his feet. So yeah, man. I mean, it was very nice, very nice performance from the O-line for a change.
It's funny. And this even goes back to Detroit. I saw a tweet earlier today that we have more wins in the playoffs than negative plays. When I mean by negative plays is sacks, interceptions, or fumbles. And Louis Riddick put a tweet out earlier today. It says there was not a single blitz that Detroit sent at Jaden Daniels last night when a pass play resulted in a negative play. Not a single one. But when it was blitz, and this goes to the offensive line too, all those blitz resulted in these plays, gains of 24, gains of 13, 11, a gain of 58, a gain of 38, a 14-yard scramble, and a gain of 12. I mean, that's amazing. And Jaden did not get his back dirty at all.
You got to go to the play calling as well. Cliff has been on fire. The last kind of 3-4 games, like really at a high level of really trying to set these defenses up for something later on down the line. And you can see it. You can see what he's trying to do. And when they brought the pressure, they knew they were going to blitz. With the answers straight away. And between Jaden and him, it was just high quality football being played by us, man.
Jesse, what did you put the play call? I'm with Scouse there. I thought the play calling was amazing yesterday. Cliff's done since he's come in. I think he's done better in one season. A lot of the offensive coordinators I've seen since I've been a fan. I mean, is it just the fact that he's watched the film on the lines? Is it the fact that there is that everyone's using the term playing with house money? No fear. It's yada yada yada. But you can only use them terms so much. What a lot of people are forgetting is we're a very good football team.
Cliff is a genius, and like I said earlier, I think this goes to Peters bringing together the right people. Like I said, we're not the most talented team in the NFL, not by any stretch, but the right people are here. The right, you get your Bobby Wagners, your Austin Ecklers, they're gluing this team together. And then you bring a guy like Cliff Kingsbury, who, weeks ago, people were ready to run out of town, if you guys remember. When you guys, you get these guys in that execute and run what's called and are able to work together. I mean, you can see it on the field that magic happens.
Yeah, no, let's get, couldn't agree more. Let's get back into the game. Just when you're thinking, okay, it's 24-14. Talk me through the Williams trick play. I think Tom Brady says, "Are we playing Madden on the court?" I mean, Scouse, Jesus, just when you think this half of football can't get any more batshit crazy, kudos again to the Lions. The Lions, we had the one-handed catch, we had the trick play that you don't see too often anymore in the NFL, and if you do see it, it gets blown up. Again, Williams taking it to the house, 24-21. Jesus Christ, bro, how do you even what's the heart rate doing then?
Well, obviously not happy. I mean, that's the thing. That's how explosive the Detroit's offense is. They can do it in 1 or 2 plays, take it to the house straight away at any time, and that's why they're so dangerous. And there was times there, as you say, Williams. I think that was literally a 2-play drive. I think that went all the way to the house, and it was just like but they were doing all these trick plays and these really big chunk plays all the time. I don't think that helped their defense out at all. I mean, we were keeping the ball when we were having it. We were trying to maintain possession. Obviously, you don't want them getting the ball regularly because they were dicing us. No, let's face it, they were. So it's kind of like, okay, but because they were hitting us so fast, like in retort to our score, then their defense is coming straight back on the field, and we were taking it again another 5 or 6 minutes each time, and just taking it. I'm just wearing them out over the game, and that was their fault, not just ours. That was their own fault as well. So that's the problem with Ben Johnson and playing Madden plays and all that crap, and using like Williams as to try and throw the ball out, and all that type of stuff. See, Williams has got a problem there because he got toasted on that interception, as in just before the half, and the ball was going to him, and everyone thought it was a touchdown, and Sam still somehow undercut it. Amazing instincts to be able to do that. And then
He was turning around before Williams even knew the ball was there.
Williams thought he had it. He thought, this is over. This is a touchdown. And then he just snatched it away from him. He was like, "What?" You even seen his mouth was saying,
"Yeah," because when they panned in on him, you could see it. Couldn't you? That was hilarious.
Yeah, and he's like trying to run after him. Now, I think Williams did that when it was his turn to actually throw the ball. I thought it was a case of, no, I'm going to still go try and make Sam look like a dick here. You know what I mean? And nah, way underthrown, and Sam was right there to pick it off. And you don't fuck around with Sam, man. He'll make you pay, and they paid twice for that.
Yeah, mate, I couldn't agree more. And just when you think, right, great play from the Lions, and you're thinking, okay, the crowd are into it now. That they think they're what. Jaden Daniels goes and pulls out that absolute bomb to Diami Brown, which is one of the plays of the night. Your backs are kind of up against the wall. This comes to where we are now this season as a football team. And I'm with Jesse, what he said at the start of the show, where we're probably going to go. Years gone by, we would have just crumbled and gone into our shell, and we might have, tried to run the ball, get through to the half and been like, do you know what, guys, it's 24-21, yada, yada, yada. Nope. Jaden threw when you watch the replay, Scouts, we were talking a minute ago about the camera panning in on players, that dropped. Emery Brown didn't have to break stride. He literally put his hands out and the ball went boom. With two with a DB up,
hands in his face,
a DB climbing over him, and the ball literally landed. And even Tom Brady on commentary was like, "Wow!" And when he's giving you, I mean, Jesse, again, this comes back to have an elite court, have someone back there that can do this.
Yeah,
this is what the NFL is all about.
We've seen it time and time again. Scrolling through X when Commanders are at practice and they're throwing that ball into the trash can. I mean, that's it right there, man. I mean, he can drop it on a pin, and it was a perfect pass, and the cornerback had covered Dami's eyes, and he still caught it because the pass was so perfect. I mean, when you got a quarterback, anything can happen. Anything can happen. and then
And we
that
scored on
makes
that. That ended up to Ertz taking the ball in and us scoring.
yeah, that makes. I mean, this was a three-phase win right here. I mean, no one talks about special teams, but if you look at what they did on kick coverage, I mean, the Lions didn't get to the 30-yard line on kickoffs. They couldn't run it that far. I mean, everybody came to play because I think they had a nothing to lose type of attitude, and they didn't care. They were just coming and just beating the crap out of the best team in the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, we ended up Ertz ended up scoring and we ended up going 31-21 up. And then Scouse comes, what we were talking about a minute ago, that you're thinking, right, let's get to half time. Obviously, the Lions go down the field and Sanders still with the interception right on the straight. That was, for me, that was key because if they'd scored right before half time, you're thinking, wow, this is just it's like, as the movie says, a shootout. It's a shootout. You know what I mean? It was just incredible. Jesse, obviously, me and Scouse just broke that bit. How important was that interception literally on the stroke of half time? Because, the Lions, if they had scored then, is the second half a little bit different?
It could
Possibly.
very well be.
Could have been very,
Yeah.
I mean, again, a player that's gone under the radar, so to speak, up until the last few weeks when he's really come to fruition, really stood out as someone that, wow. And again, what another great find from the Washington Commanders, someone that no one really wasn't on many people's radars, and then ends up probably having one of the season. He's gonna have to go some to beat what he's done the last few weeks. Jesse, what did you make of that right before halftime?
Yeah, no, I mean it was another gut punch. It was another way for Washington to say, "Hey, Detroit, it's not your day. It's not going to happen." And to go into the halftime still with that momentum, Washington still had that momentum, and knowing that they're receiving the ball, that Washington's receiving the ball at the at half, even though we didn't do nothing with it. I mean, it was just deflating Detroit play by play.
Yeah. I couldn't agree more. Obviously, yeah. So we went into the halftime, 31-21 Commanders. The Lions come out and again, Lions come. We get the ball, we don't do nothing with it. The Lions then 31-28, and you're thinking, I don't know how much more my heart can take of this. It's like it's 3:30 in the morning now, quarter 3:15 in the morning. I'm thinking, Jesus. Then one for me, a play that really stood out. We got to fourth and two, and Jaden really made that play that he scrambled to get them 2 yards for me that was really like the first moment in my head where I've gone, I think we're going to win this. I didn't quite know how to act. Boys, what did you again, were you still surprised that the play calling was just as brave in this game? Was there any moment when you thought we might temper it a little bit just because of the game situation? Me personally, I'm thinking, fuck it. We've done this all season. Just keep fucking doing what we're doing. Absolutely love it. For you boys, was there any point in this game when you thought, right, just maybe rein it in a bit now, maybe punt the ball away? Or was it always just going to be, who gives a shit? Let's have a shootout.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's exactly that way. We've been doing that most of the year. Let's face it, we have got, inaccurate kicker as well on the team. Not just Gonzalez, even the guys before him. We've had 6 kickers this year. So when you've got the total trust, when Dan Quinn's got total trust of it, how good your quarterback is and how good your players are at executing, and the high percentages that we actually, are successful on fourth down, then why not keep using it? And Detroit's a very similar team. They would rather go for it on a 4-2, 4-3, rather than punt it away. Very aggressive. It's the only way to be. It's the only way to be in today's NFL. It really is. We've got the players to do it. And no, when you got JD Farber say you can, it gives everybody that true belief that you can get it. No matter if it's 4-15. Like, you see, deep down, these players know that they're going to pull it out the bag, and 8 out of 10 they do it. So it's yeah, man, that's just the best way of going about it.
One player that I put out a tweet earlier, and he was coming in for a lot of criticism, Jesse B-Rob.
Hell of a game.
Wow, what a way to! We all watched the build up last week, and a lot of Twitter trolls, and who cut him? Well, he shouldn't be in the team. Get rid of him at the end of the season. Yada yada. And there was a few of us out there that said, "Hang on a minute, this we don't get to where we've got to this season without having any run game." Let's not forget that. Let's not throw the poor guy under the bus. Jesse, what a way to answer the critics last night.
100%. Listen, I've been beating the drum for B Rob for the past few weeks. And I think a lot of the issues was the offensive line. And you see how the offensive line played. They opened up holes for B Rob. I was arguing with somebody before the game because they were crying about Chris Rodriguez not being not dressing for the not dressing for the game. And I'm like, there's a reason why he's not. I mean, B Rob is he's the starting running back. He's got the experience. He knows the playbook. He is better in pass protection. And the problems has been the offensive line. I mean, they have not opened up any holes the past few weeks whatsoever. Nobody's been able to run, no matter who was carrying the rock. The only person that was been able to get any yards is Jaden Daniels, and that's from scrambling. So for him to come in there, hopefully shut some critics up, because, he kept popping off 14-yard run here, 15-yard run there, 7-yard run here. And I mean, I think he ended up with about 70 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, and you can see the reaction on the sidelines from his teammates, his coaches. They obviously they say they don't hear, but they hear.
Sure.
It's the world we live in now with the social media and the way it is. You're telling me that players of an evening don't look on social media. That reaction alone tells me, fuck yeah, this is like Scout says, we're a team. You know what I mean? Are we the best team in the NFL? Probably not. We are, but I
think team-wise, I think we are. I think talent-wise,
team-wise,
team-wise,
yeah. If we're talking individuals, Terry and Jaden aside, then we're probably not. But for an actual team with 60 minutes away from the Super Bowl, I think we're the best team left in the run to get to New Orleans. I mean, we ended the game with McNichols putting us up. Last TV for us was putting us up 45-28. And then they read the stat out live on air. The 45 points on the road, Jesse and Scouts, is the most in playoff history. Did we ever think from where we've been that us three would be sitting there going 45 points on the road? Yeah, just the most in playoff history. Washington Commanders. And you'll be like, what is it? Not Kansas? No. The Washington Commanders. I mean, never thought I'd be saying that, Jesse.
Jedi 5, man. Jedi 5. When you got a Jedi assassin under center, anything can happen.
Yeah. I mean, Scouts, again, it's just testament to how far. How we say this every week, and it amazes me that they're saying, and I mean, Tom Brady said it on commentary last night. He was just like, look, this guy is far from a rookie. He has the poise of a veteran. He just looks cool under any kind of pressure that he's faced, and didn't face any last night. He didn't take one sack. Are you with Jesse that he said at the start of the show there, Scouse? I mean, 12 wins this season. Who knows where it's going to end up? I don't want to jinx it by saying it. We all know where I think it's going to go. The sky's literally now the limit for this young fella. Before we get into fan questions, Scouse, just try and put into words how effective one guy can be in his. We all thought we potentially saw something with RG3 in 2012. We're thinking, oh fuck, we've got a guy here. This eclipses anything that fucking motherfucker RG3's done. Don't get me started and people tweeting me. I don't like him. But wow, Scouse.
Yeah, man. I mean, and the thing is, though, it's the way he carries himself as well. It isn't just how good he is. I mean, we know he had talent before he coming into the NFL. We've seen him play ball at college. You think, oh, he's played 5 years, played 50-odd games in college, a lot of experience. Comes in, okay, didn't do too great the first few games. We went to week 2, we didn't even score a touchdown. Jane didn't look that great. Let's face it, to be honest. But then he got better and better the more he got into it. And now, man, tell you what, I mean, I don't think there's a rookie quarterback. Actually, I don't even think there's many main quarterbacks who've been around for years that are as good as him. I really believe that. I mean, you can say, your Lamar, your Mahomes and all that. Josh Allen. I mean, for me, JD's right up there right now with them. Never mind next year. I know. Jesse mentioned it earlier that in a couple of years he's probably number 1. I mean, to be fair,
number 1 now,
number one QB in the league. I mean, I think he's
Patrick Mahomes
right now.
Better than Patrick Mahomes.
He will be.
He will be. I don't think he's just there just yet for him, but I mean, he's definitely top 3 right now. Right now, he's top 3.
Will be when he smokes him in the Super Bowl.
He needs to get a Super Bowl or two under his belt before we can
Yeah,
crown him.
I know.
But,
I'm getting carried away, boys. I'm
from
getting
a
carried away.
quality standpoint of like how he's a guy that even if you're not a Washington fan, you want to root for, because he's just so like just laid back, like quite a really nice guy. Everyone seems to love the
Yeah.
guy.
I've got
He's
so
not like
many messages from people saying just that, Scouse. I'm a commander. So many of my friends that are like some are Giants fans, and the fair play to the Royal Lions guys that sent me a nice message today saying, just, I want you to go and win it now. They're supporting us. So many people outside of our organisation are wanting us now to go on and win it. Before we get into what we're going to think's coming up, and we'll give our opinions. Let's get into some fan questions. I promise you, I'm going to try and do my best to get through as many as I can. We've got absolute shitloads. Jesse, Chris would like to know. He says he's asked this a few weeks ago to us guys, and we answered it, but he's now going to ask it again. How is Jaden Daniels not in the league MVP conversation? How is he not the favourite? No one has done as much with as little form. No, as little as from a starting base like what he's had.
Simple.
Is he in the conversation, Jesse, of MVP?
That conversation is over. MVP is for the regular season. Should he be in the conversation? Absolutely. Should he get a couple votes? Sure. But they're not going to give it to him. He's not a serious contender. I think he's probably fourth, maybe fifth on the list of in the running for the MVP. It's either going to be Lamar or Josh Allen. But now that said, if you look at what the definition of most valuable player is, it's the most valuable person to your team, and what that person means to your team. If there was any other quarterback under center, you think we would be on our 14th win right now? We've won 14 games total this season, including the 2 in the playoffs. No, but you look at people like Lamar, everybody's on Lamar, and he's had a fantastic season. I mean, Lamar has done a wonderful season, but look what Lamar has around him. I mean, Derrick Henry, Zay Flowers. He's got, I think, 12 Pro Bowlers on his team, total of 12 Pro Bowlers on his team, like 3 All Pros. Then you go to Josh Allen. That's my MVP favorite because Josh Allen is very similar to Jaden because of what he's working with. Yeah, he's got Cook and a couple of receivers that their receiving room may be a little bit better than ours, but he doesn't have nothing around him, nothing at all. So I think Allen and Jaden should be in the conversation more than Burrow and Lamar Jackson. Stats are not predicated on MVP. Stats don't matter. It's what you do for your team that matters. And yeah, there should be an argument for Jaden, but because he's a rookie, because I think during that 3-game streak, he got injured as well, didn't look as good for those couple games. I think that's what really has hurt him.
Good answer, bro. Scouse Nick sent me this is a funny DM. Hey Andy, once Jaden's rookie deal is up, how much fucking money is it going to cost us to keep him?
100 million a year.
I mean,
Jesus.
I think at least the minimum you're talking 70 mil a year. I really do. Maybe even more than that.
Maybe more. I reckon more.
Might be 75 mil.
Like
year,
you see what Jaden's doing now with what he's got, and we still have how much in
we've got the
salary
cap
for next
the cap
year?
that we've got for next year is frightening.
I don't care what we have to pay him.
What's that, Scouse, bro?
No, so we've got to sign a lot of players as well. Though like half the guys we've got on 1-year deals, so we're gonna have to sign them back up.
Jesse, out of the 1-year deals, are you getting them? Some I'll get to the question in a minute. I can't remember where it is. It's I'm scrolling down Twitter. How many of the players on the 1-year deal do you tie up now?
All of them. I mean, Wagner.
Whoever sent that question, thank you. I can't.
Chin,
so many, I can't find it.
Wagner and Chin are must signings. Zach Ertz, did he sign a 1 or 2-year deal? Bring Ertz back. Eckler is a 2-year deal, so he's already
done. Yeah, he's good
here. Might as well bring back Igbenogany. And Noah Brown. Bring back Noah Brown too. Even though he got hurt, go ahead and bring back Noah Brown as well.
Steve would like to know, Scouse, Great question, this. Riding on 1 hour's sleep and whiskey. So sorry if this doesn't make sense. Steve-O, you are not alone, brother. We're all with you, my man. For years, we've spoken about rebuild. Watching last night's game, are we out of that stage and now in identity build? Have we established a core and structure of how we want to play? And then he says, we want the Rams. Scouts, yeah, I mean, I tweeted out last night, tongue in cheek, the rebuild's going well. Fuck me, if this is the rebuild, I mean, Steve makes a great point now. Are we now in identity build other than rebuild, or am I putting the cart before the horse?
I mean, I think DQ's mentioned that from day one. They wanted to create an identity and a culture about how they want to play. They want to arrive violently at every single play, and that's what we do. We play hard, throughout all three phases of the game. So identity-wise, I think we've already got that. I think it's the case of, but we still roster building for sure because we still do have a lot of holes in the team. We could definitely improve in multiple areas, and like as in talent-wise. And I think it's only going to get better. Peters has only had 1 year. You know what I mean? Like, think about what he's going to do in the next couple of years while Jaden's still under that rookie deal. The things that he's going to be able to do is going to be insane, And I think, as I say, this should only go up for us. We should only be going all the way up. We shouldn't be going downwards or back to where we were like last season, the years before. We should be, for me, this should be the standard.
Yeah, this should, yeah, 100%. You'd be devastated if we regressed after this season, 100%. Gav Johnson was the question about signing up all the people on 1 year deals. So cheers, Gav. I hope we answered that for you, bro. Next question comes in from private user 01. Where does the team fall in the draft position order now? Dead last.
At least 29th.
Yeah, at least 29. Just briefly touching on that. I don't want to, loads of people are already, if I don't want to start the dreaded word mock draft. Jesse, how important, because let's be honest, let's not beat around the bush. We've been drafting in the top 10 in the last God knows how many years. So hence why we've got an elite quarterback now. With drafting from 29th and onwards, what do you make of how the draft is now going to come out for us? Is it going to be the fact that we're gonna be planning for more the later rounds, or who is it, the back end of the first round? How do you see the draft? Just briefly, we're gonna do this in the postseason because we've got something to talk about. But how do you we don't know where we're gonna end up. I hope we draft dead last, 29th and onwards. Just briefly, Jesse, how do you see the planning and the draft kind of situation going now for us? We're not used to this.
I mean, yeah, you're gonna pick the best player available. I mean, that's what you do when you're in the back end. You're going to have needs.
Is it more a case of you're not going to maybe get the position that you want that later on in the rounds, or is it the best? You don't want to go for the best person that's left in that position, but someone you probably might not have wanted anyway, if that makes sense.
Well, listen. I mean, there's 300 players available in the draft, or even more than that. You find good players all throughout. Set the 7 rounds, man. You just got to pick the best player at either a position of need or just the best player available, depending upon what their draft strategy is. But one thing I know is Adam Peters isn't going to steer us wrong. He's going to do the right thing for us.
Yeah. Scouts, kind of, what's your opinion? Just briefly, we're going to get into the draft.
Yeah, I mean,
once we've all got rid of our hangovers after we've won the Super Bowl, we can talk about the draft. But yeah, it's kind of the same as Jesse, best player there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, best player for me. When I look at drafts as well, when I do my mocks and whatever else, and I'm always looking at the best player available in a position of need. That's what I want. What's the point in getting yourself there? If the best player available is another quarterback, what's the point in getting that when you've got a stud quarterback? It doesn't make any sense,
Yeah.
So it's looking for a position that you do need. We need tackle, we need receiver, we need tight end, and a real tight end. I don't mean these guys that are just kind of average. I want a stud. There's the guys I'm looking at, and I'm thinking, okay, who's the best? Now them, and that's what I'm going for each time. But that's the best way.
Yeah, no, well said, mate.
There's no need.
Scouts, Paul, our good buddy Paul Turner. Big shout out to you, Paul. Hope you're doing well, brother. Hope you got some sleep. Was this John Allen's best ever game for us?
I don't know about that. I mean, he played well, but it wasn't like absolute game wrecker John Allen from a few years ago, so
Fair play to him, though. He's coming back from injury,
yeah,
and
he played
wow.
well. He did play
Yeah.
well. He did get some pressure up the middle, which is important against quarterbacks like Goff. But I wouldn't say it was his best game ever.
Jesse?
Yeah, John was going up against a rookie guard because his height
The injury,
down
yes,
too.
in
So,
the first, yeah.
yeah, no, John's had much better games, and he played well. Don't get me wrong, he played really well, but it's definitely not his best game.
Private user 01 would also like to know, Jesse. Bear in mind, before I read this question out, we are recording this on Sunday evening, so if this has already happened, we don't know the situation. We're sitting here recording this at 6:30 in the UK. User 01 would like to know, Jesse, which team between Philly and the Rams plays most like Tampa and Detroit defensively, and which one would we want to go up against?
Anybody, anywhere, anytime.
Yeah, I don't give a
Don't
shit,
care.
to be fair. I don't, yeah.
Really.
I'm
I mean, I guess you could say the Rams are a little bit more like Detroit. I mean, Philly's defense is great, but the Rams defense has been playing very well as of late too. I think the Rams could be a little bit more explosive, but we've been very good this year, all year long, as limiting those explosive air yards. Not too many times has anybody's gotten over the top on this defense.
Scouse, any preference to, again, I'll make the note that we are recording this on Sunday. So those listening Monday, Tuesday next week. My Dunstable manager is going to be listening to this. Steve-O, he is a huge Rams fan, and he wants to come on the bunker. So just for that,
Okay.
I want the Rams to win, and I think that we'll beat them. Sorry, Steve-O. Any preference for you? I mean, a lot of people, the Philly fan base are dying to play us, and I mean dying to play us after what happened in Washington, 5 weeks ago now. Scouse, have you got any? Do you give a shit who we play? I mean, a lot of people, saying leaning a little bit towards the Rams. Do you want the NFC matchup for the game to go to the Super Bowl? I mean, I'm with Jesse. I just think the way we're playing, the way we're handling every situation that's thrown at us, send us to Philly. I don't care. Send us to them motherfuckers. I really put us in the biggest cauldron you could put us in, and watch us cook again, and watch us do it in your backyard. That's I'm not being arrogant, because a lot of people are, oh, these Commanders fans. If you look at what we've done from Atlanta to Tampa to Detroit, that's not arrogance. I genuinely, that is off the back of what I watch from Jaden Daniels, what I watch from Dan Quinn, Cliff Kingsbury, etc., etc. These guys will just have them, and I say treat it like an ordinary game. It's not going to be an ordinary game. We're going to be one game from the Super Bowl. But in saying that, I just think if you put us in Philly, we'll just live in the moment. We won't get worried about what's to come if we win that game. You won't hear the team talking first time in 33 years. Yeah, you won't. I don't think you'll hear any of that. So my confidence, not arrogance, comes from what the team are giving back to us as fans. We're all sitting there going, like Jesse just said, anytime, anybody. I genuinely don't care. So for you, those Scouts, any preference at all, maybe?
I mean, as you say, you can argue it either way, really. I mean, if you get the Rams, you think, okay, it's a different opponent. We've not played them this year, something different for us. And then also, the Rams would be hosting, and they might not actually be at home, because of the fires still over California. So that could work out a neutral venue, which might work to our favor. It might do. Okay. Now, flip side is obviously we get Philly, and we've beat them before. And we know it's family business. We play each other twice a year. We know each other's teams inside and out. So it just depends which way you want to feel about it. As I say, I don't really care personally. But to be the best, you got to beat the best. So for me, it's like, let's bring on Philly. They're saying they're the best. Let's go and take them on. Let's go there, kick their ass, and then we'll see what's like against the Bills or whoever it is we play in the final. Let's bring it on, man. Jaden can put up 30 plus points against this team, and that's good enough to beat a Philly team. Jalen Hurts isn't all that, man. He isn't. He's not a great quarterback.
No,
he's not a great quarterback. They've just got a really good team around him, And they say, and we know them inside out. They know weaknesses. We know their weaknesses, and I think it's just a case of battle of attrition. Let's go.
Yeah. Big shout out to everyone that sent in some fan questions. I'll answer some on X as well. A lot of people message, and I got about 4 or 5 in my DMs that I need to answer. Big shout out to the Raw of the Lions guys. I know they're going to be listening. It's been some absolutely, Jesse. Obviously, we recorded with them on Friday. And me and Hartley Dunn went over and done their show on Thursday. But you know, the roaring speech that Ant gave, the you know, it looked like he was in the movie 300 or 3000, whatever it's fucking called. It looked like he was doing that. Didn't work, buddy. I told you we would win. Listen to Burrows when he speaks. It's win. Talking of winning, boys, one word. Yes or no? Scouse, can Washington go all the way and win the Super Bowl? There's a question I never thought I'd ask in 2025.
Can they? Yes.
Does it? One word? One word?
Yeah,
No?
absolutely.
Oh, well done, Jesse. See?
Absolutely.
Thank you. Jesse, is Terry elite now?
I moved him up a couple
Fucking hell.
notches in
I
my
moved him up a couple Scouts, he says.
I got him to 16.
What's he now? Where's he now? Yeah, where was he now? Like 14th?
Yeah, he's 16th. He's 16th.
16.
Scouts, this guy, man.
receivers
Look,
there.
when everyone's listening to this, fucking tweet this motherfucker. Make sure you absolutely tweet this motherfucker. Saying, what did you say, 16th? At Jesse24 on Twitter, X. Tweet him as soon as you listen to this bit of this episode.
I want to
tweet
see
his ass. Tag at Commander Bunker, me and Scouse. Get on this motherfucker. But boys, all joking aside, I mean, I never thought I'd be sitting here on the 19th of January with us literally 60 minutes away from a Super Bowl.
Still there, man. Still in it to
We're
win
still
it.
here.
We're usually planning our vacations right now.
We're
Like,
usually-
all right, we're
yeah,
gonna take a month
normally on
off.
vacation.
We're
Podcast.
usually like, thanks for listening to the bunker, guys. We're going to take a bit of time off. We'll see you before the draft. And now I'm thinking, could you imagine the pod? I promise you now, if we do somehow, some way win the Super Bowl, we're going to have the world's drunkest podcast. It's going to make what we done when me, Scouse, and Scott were together in that bar. And it's going to make that look like we are going to.
Y'all are coming to DC.
Scouse, this is the question. If we do make the Super Bowl, is it we've got to get on a plane to watch it with
They'll probably have a watch party at the stadium.
Sell a kidney, Scout. Do something.
Yeah, I'm going to do something. I'm going to have to do something because you don't know when you're going to get there again, do you? I mean, that's the thing, man. It could be, even though we got Jade, it might take another 10, 15 years to get there
Might
again.
take another 3 or 4 years. Yeah, we could, we could lose a few championship games. We could. I think we'll be in. I think we'll be in the situations to get to Super Bowls.
I mean, look at Dallas. I mean, besides this year, they've been 12-win teams for the last 4 or 5 years. Didn't get past the first round, So if you can get there, if you get to the game,
while you can.
You got to fucking make it work, man.
Like you said, Scouse, you've got to be in it.
Exactly. You just don't know when it's going to happen again. So,
really appreciate
there first.
Let's get there. Yeah, let's get there. I mean, look, for all these people saying don't get too far ahead of yourselves. Look, we're usually talking about the draft right now. We're talking about, like Jesse says, vacations, and we're not doing a show for 3 or 4 months because we've got, we're out and we're done and we're depressed. We only won 5 games or whatever, 4 games last season. So for all them people going, you Commanders fans are getting away, fuck off. I don't care. You know what I mean? My team are 1 game away from the Super Bowl. So I really don't give a shit what you say. So many people want us to win. If it's Philly, great. If it's the Rams, great. I honestly don't care. I have full belief in this team, and it's not arrogance. It's just doing what every other fan in sports would do, is back their team. So big thanks to everyone for tuning in. If you want to find us on X, like a lot of you have over the last 24 hours, at Commander Bunker is where you can find us on X. You can find me at Washington UK Fan, at Jesse24. Scouse, what's your handle again?
At ScouseAndy20.
Yeah, at ScouseAndy20. So the second that you listen to this and you hear Jesse say he still hasn't got Terry in the top 10, other than Scotty G, who's going to tweet his ass off big time when he listens to this. Make sure you go and tweet Jesse. But Jesse, have a great week, bro. Enjoy all the build up over there stateside, my man. And it's going to be, I think we're all going to listen to every podcast, every news outlet, I bet the media in Washington are thinking, fucking hell, I'm not used to this.
Yeah.
Jeez. Not used to being. I've got to be nice to them again for another week. We're good. I'm going to be out of a job. It's incredible. Thanks everyone for tuning in. We'll be back later in the week. We're going to go and preview either the Philly game or the Rams game. Myself, Scouse, and Jesse we'll get something out maybe Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. Like we got one out Friday last week, but we'll be back later in the week. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Till next time. Buckle down? No, that's the wrestling one. I've got so many podcasts I'm doing. Bunker down. I need to go to bed, everyone. Bunker down. Stay safe.